Welcome, everyone, to the Crystal Starnes Show airing on Just TV. Today, we have a fabulous guest that's coming to us from New Jersey, and his name is Angelo Capone, and he is a famous comedian, and I'm so excited that he is on here today. So let's welcome Angelo Capone. Hi, Angelo. How are you?
Hey, Crystal, thank you for having me and inviting me. And I look forward to things like this because it gets my chance to tell my story.
That's awesome. Well, first, I'd like to learn a little bit about you. I know that you love to make people laugh. And, I guess one of the things I would have a question about would be what got you into, being a comedian, and maybe tell the audience a little bit about your background.
Okay. Well, this all began, I'm wearing my glasses because I can't see. This all began when I was a child. I would think I was born dyslexic. And dyslexic, if anybody doesn't know what it is, it's a reading disability where there's extremes of how bad it could be. ADHD. I was illiterate. So as a little boy, I knew something was wrong with me. I wasn't like the rest of the kids in the sandbox. I heard them speaking better. I couldn't put words together. Am I still on? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I heard them speaking better. They could put words together. I didn't talk until I was 4 years old because this was clouding me. Something was not right. And it's amazing how what you think at 4, you think you don't know what's going on. You do. And I did know something was not right, but I didn't understand what was going on. Okay. So I shied away. I was quiet. I didn't know how to express myself. So at 7 years old, I was given a God-given talent of playing drums at 7 years old. I come from a background of musicians in my family, both sides. They grew up together. They lived across the street from each other. So it was always one big happy family. And they were all musicians: clarinet, sax, piano, guitar, banjo, accordion. They played everything. And I was the drummer. 7 years old, my uncle said to my father, "This kid plays drums." Well, they got me a set of drums, and there I was. So that was a saving grace for me. I could sit in the background on the drums, contribute to others, and didn't have to say anything. So the drums really was a wow for me, and I loved it. And it made me branch out into other things like fashion. Believe it or not, 7, 8 years old, we were playing on the block parties in Brooklyn, and we had to get dressed and we had to look good. So I got into fashion because I'm sitting back there. I wasn't the singer. I wasn't the MC. I didn't talk. I just banged away. Okay. That kept me going. My father was a film buff. And back in my day, we had the big screen, but we didn't have sound. We just had the visual look. And my father used to give us all the comedy, Abbott and Costello, the Marx Brothers, and there was Jerry and Dean. And I'm looking at this guy, Jerry Lewis, and he's making my faces. Now, what do I mean by he's making my faces? Let's go back to where I am now. I'm shy. I didn't fit in. So these were natural faces. When I did something wrong, or if I was trying to fit in, I would make a face like Jerry, I would do that face. Only because it was real. And not realizing what I was doing, but I knew watching someone else do it, that it was mine. So here was this guy making these faces and these movements with his body, like crunching down and grabbing his hands and his head, and was all confused. That was me. So a little boy goes to his mother. Is this guy making fun of me? No, Angelo, he's a comedian. He's a comic. He's bringing joy. But they didn't realize I'm crying. He's bringing joy. I'm crying. So it was in that moment that I said, hey, because I wrote a poem, I'm going to jump on his coattails and I'm going to do what he's doing. That's how comedy came into my life at 8, 9 years old. I knew I could be funny. I didn't have to say much. I could be funny. And there again, I'm contributing. So you got to remember, when you're dyslexic and you're illiterate, you don't know how to distribute because you don't know the instructions. This was already instructed in me. So I was the comic. I was not the clown, but the comic. I would get the girls to laugh. I would get the guys to say, hey, I want to go hang out with Ange. You know, he's funny. He has something, without really understand what that meant. It was just an action. So I knew I was this comic inside. Now here it is. I'm riding on Jerry's coattails, and I'm 9 years old, and that's 1963. Well, in 1963, he came out with I would say his best movie ever, and that's The Nutty Professor. And back in the day, my mother and I had an older brother who was 5 years older, and my father, you know, in those days, they had 2 jobs, make them ends meet, and the women took care of the kids. My brother was gallivanting. He was too old for me now. And me and my mother made a pact. We used to go to the movies on Saturday. Okay. So the first movie I went to was with her with that pact was in 1963 was Elizabeth Taylor in Cleopatra. 3-hour movie. 9 years old. I'm sitting in this movie like, come on, huh? You know, we got to get out of here. But the only good thing that came out of it, I knew I loved women after seeing her because she was gorgeous. So I was happy with that. So next was mine. I said, Ma, we got to go see The Nutty Professor. Okay. It was Jerry Lewis. Because now, you know, my mother understands where I'm going, you know, the reaction here, because I didn't talk much. You know, I always was tutored. I was getting tutored at 9 years old. I just started getting tutored. And, there I was sitting in this chair. Now I didn't do the Jerry voice yet. I'm just doing his face expressions and just, you know, just making sounds like I'm all confused. And there it was. He came out and he did The Nutty Professor. And the reaction in the audience, people were like, oh, because he came out with teeth and glasses that looked nothing like him, that brought them to another vision of a character. Now, here's the word character. Jerry and I share the same character. I don't pay homage to Jerry Lewis. I don't even care about Jerry Lewis. I don't judge him as a man. I don't look to him as being who he was. He was a genius. But the only thing I see is the character because it was mine. See, I always told people he stole my character. He created it, but it lives in me. I didn't create it. It was me. So that was the beginning of the Jerry and Angelo life. Jerry and me, I call it. Jerry and me. It was me in Jerry, but Jerry was in me. Okay. So there I was sitting in this chair, and it came out, and I realized he kept on saying a word that brought him back to the tone, that brought him back to stretching his words, and was actually. I just sat there, and it was something like this. Can I show you? Can I show you? Okay, it was something like this. And I was already in this person's head. And I'm sitting in and he was actually, it always actually came out of him. And I'm sitting in that chair and I'm doing actually to my mother, actually, and I see this look. And I did the Nutty. Well, I was so thrilled. I came home that day. My mother was a seamstress. And she had a sewing machine room with her own mannequin on wheels. Well, I came in, not as the nutty, but Jerry was pumping me now. And I did my first skit. It was what I call now Stanley, which was the bellboy, and the errand boy was Stanley. It was Stanley dressing a woman in Macy's window on Fifth Avenue. But it was a mannequin. He's dressing the mannequin. So you could imagine how that went, because now she's a full woman. She has breasts, and he's thinking that she's a woman. He's touching her and dress, and it was on wheels, and I rolled across the window. I made my first skit, and I knew that was my defining moment, that I'm doing Jerry. As I was doing that skit, I just realized that I just came out of me, because now I had action. You see, when I was trying to think of Jerry, the thinking didn't come out, because the visual was there. As soon as I did a skit, the voice came alive, because it was part of the actor character in that skit. So I just was always with Dean. Okay, I'll take it. I don't know what you want to do. Okay. And I did Jerry. 9 years old. I did Jerry for me for many years. I didn't share it, because where am I going at 9 years old? I don't have a career. I'm not thinking business. It was my salvation for me. It was something more than me not having. When you're dyslexic and you're illiterate and you're ADHD, you have nothing to offer. But Jerry was my offering. And I had to get over the hill, or I should say the mountain in life, to bring it to others. So here I was, 15, 14 years old. I'm in high school. I'm in 9th grade. And I was with these dean teachers and these gym teachers I got to be friends with. And there happened to be a guy who graduated 4 years earlier, who's in his 20s. He was a comedian coming up, wanted to be the Vegas type comedian. And we started talking. I said, hey, wow, I was impressed with him. And I said, I do comedy thing. I said, I do Jerry Lewis. This will show me. So I said, I go, you could be Dean. I don't know what you want me to. He goes, where did you learn that? I said, I didn't learn it. It's me. He goes, what do you mean? I said, I don't rehearse anything I've done, even till today. I never rehearsed doing the typewriter. I don't rehearse doing the cigar when he's the CEO I don't rehearse anything. It just comes out of me because it's mine. He goes, wow, you should be doing this. And I was like, yeah, I know, but I don't know how. Well, at that moment, the principal of the high school was walking by. And Walter goes, I love Jerry Lewis. I'm scared. I'm like, I got to talk to this guy. He's the principal. I said, yeah, He says, listen, come in tomorrow morning. Now, where I went to Fort Hamilton High School, there was 5,000 kids in the school. Wow. Just come on the speaker and do the nutty or the Jerry and tell everybody to go to their class. Now, why did I agree to that? Nobody was looking at me. I'm on the mic. The speaker comes on, and I went, actually, everybody, good morning. This is Professor Kelp. I had everybody listening to me. And then I would end as Jerry. All right, everybody, go to class. Don't run in the halls. Just take it. Nobody ever knew it was me. Nobody. Here's the joke of the whole thing. I grew up in the neighborhood of Brooklyn, a lot of people. We just had a reunion the other day because my best friend of one of them passed away. And let's say there's 20, 25 of us. We're together 60 years. So we have a reunion every year if we can't get together. Till today, I have never confessed that I was illiterate. I never confessed to them that I was dyslexic. I never told them anything who I was as Angelo Capone, but I always showed them Jerry, the comic. And they know me of. The ironic thing is, I call ourselves, there's, always in a big group, you break the group down. And there's 8 of us who are the closest. I made a name from the 8 Great Tomatoes, because we're all Italian. The 8 Great Tomatoes. 8 guys, they're all multimillionaires. Not me. I'm the comic. So that's my offering to them. Like, I'm the comic to you when you need me. And they look at me like I'm the millionaire. Because they're businessmen, they're accountants, they had their own firms, their own business. I was just a working stiff. For 30 years, I paved the streets of New York. And when I retired, my wife said, why don't you go do Jerry now? And I was like, what? How do I do that? She says, you figured it out since you're 9 years old. You'll figure it out now. And I did. When I first started, I was so green. I was with a dean. And I thought we were going to work together as a Martin Lewis. He brought in a Sinatra and a Sammy Davis and made a Rat Pack show. Years later, I am so grateful that happened because I wasn't ready to be the Jerry yet. I had to learn myself. What was that? I had to take the Angelo and put it on paper as Jerry. See, the Jerry is in Angelo. I had to take it out and make something out of it now. So being with the Rat Pack show gave more performances and made me sit back and see what I needed to do. So now I'm ready to go do with or without them. So that was tutoring for me, which was great. And it worked for me. So here I am today at a place where I feel I'm a storyteller. See, I don't consider myself an impersonist. I don't consider myself a lookalike. Yeah, I have his likeness, but it's only in the character's face when he's in character. Like the face with the face. That's Jerry and Angelo. Angelo and Jerry. That is not a lookalike. The impersonation is, I'm not impersonating Jerry Lewis the man. I'm impersonating Angelo Capone. I'm first. Then it's Jerry. So I don't consider myself an impersonator. I don't consider myself a lookalike. I am doing me. It just happens to be the same comedy as the man who became the mentor for me. Someone always has to bring, like, it sounds stupid, but a banker, president of the bank became a president of the bank because someone else became the president of the bank. But now he owns it. I own it now because it's mine. That's the difference. So someone had to begin it. And understand, Jerry Lewis was not, I have my own opinion about Dean and Jerry. Jerry Lewis started at 5 years old. He was with his mother and father's, but he came to himself when he was 15. He came into himself. He was a lip syncer. That's how he started. He put on a record and he lip sync and he would pretend. Well, what do you think I did when you're illiterate? You pretended. I used to stand in front of the mirror, put on Elvis songs, Stuck on You. I had beautiful black hair then, lacquer my hair, put a jacket on, and I lip sync. Even though I didn't know the words, I would just move my mouth, get some of the songs, some of the words, and just throw them in there. Stuck on You, and then just go with. I was a lip syncer. So when I looked at him, I said, he didn't do anything I didn't do. I was doing it because I had to do it. He was doing it because he didn't know what to do. That's the difference. He only came to know the do when he met Dean. And he always made a statement, it was the handsome man and the monkey. And I used to hate when he used to say that. You wasn't a monkey. You became the little boy when you met Dean. You were already a young boy, but you didn't play the character, the young boy, until you met the man. Then you knew to be the young boy. Why? First of all, he was 10 years older than him. So when you were 17, 18, he's 28 already. 28 to 18, you're an older man. So you were playing the young boy that I'm playing when I was a young boy. I was already a real young boy. So to me, it's so, what's the word? We're attached. We're so much alike, but yet we're not. because Jerry was a genius. I don't know if you know what he invented. You know what he invented?
I don't.
You know the replay machine will put something on and you replay and see yourself?
Mm-hmm.
He invented that.
Oh, wow.
So think about the money everybody's making on him for the last 60 years of a replay machine. Every director, let's see what we did. Every TV show, let's see what we did. Every person who records themselves replays it. He invented that. So do you really think he needed to work? No. What happened with him was he realized the lightning in the bottle with Dean was explosive to him. And he created this character, this little boy. So when him and Dean split up, he stayed in that character. Until what? Until he couldn't do the little boy no more. At 50, he couldn't do the little boy no more. I don't think he could do that for. His last movie was 1980. He did 2 movies. And he tried to be not the little boy, but he played the disorderly. When he did the movie Disorderly Orderly, he played a disorderly person now, but not as young as he was with Dean. So he still was the confused, dyslexic, maybe kid like me, but he couldn't be the little boy no more. And that's when I came to the reality. I am that little boy. I'm 69 years old. I'm still playing the Dean Jerry little boy that he did in his great movies with him and the few that he did up until 1970. In his 60s, his career was over. If Jerry didn't have, in my opinion, the MDA and the legacy that he had with Dean, I don't think he would have been as popular. He would have been a legend, but he wouldn't have been as popular because every year you've seen him bring everybody to the MDA. Every star wanted to be with him. So people that wanted to be with him, he became with them. And they got to like him, and it just continued his legacy. Dean was the same way. Dean was the opposite. Dean loved being with people. Jerry didn't. Jerry liked doing everything on his own. He was a producer, director. He was the writer. If you realize, in every Jerry Lewis movie, Tony Curtis was the only big star he ever had because it was his friend with Dean and Jerry. He never had a star. He had has-beens. Dean was the opposite. He had every star because they all wanted to be with him because he loved people. Jerry was about, I got to finish what I started. I got to finish writing. I got to finish directing. I got to finish producing. I can't make anybody in my way. But the difference is, Dean lasts forever. Jerry didn't. At the end of the 60s, beginning of the 70s, Jerry was done. What made Jerry become who Jerry is? Now think about this. Who's the guy that the director Spielberg comes along? Jerry taught him in school how to be a director. See, that's how brilliant he was. Comes along and says, Jerry, you're older now. See, you're older now. Meaning you're not that kid that you did back then. We want to make a movie. King of comedy. You should be the king of comedy and be yourself. There was the defining moment for Jerry. Let me just be Jerry Lewis now. He stepped away from that little boy. He carried a little boy with him, but he stepped away from that little boy. There's a difference. He just brought the little luggage of that little boy with him, but now he was Jerry Lewis, king of comedy. If you go back and see that movie, he was a regular guy. He was he was really him. He did Damn Yankees on Broadway. He was him. He was now a comic. He wasn't the little boy anymore. That was back in the 90s. That was telling me, you're the little boy, Ange. This is you. What are you going to do? I don't know. I did nothing in 2000 until 2015. So it took me many years to go out and do Jerry Lewis. The only thing that keeps me going is there's not many Jerry Lewises out there that I think are Jerry Lewises. Now, I'm not saying that I think in any way I'm a Jerry Lewis. I'm saying I'm the little boy. And that's what keeps me going, is the little boy. And it's rewarding the way I was gifted to play drums. I don't know how to read music. I'm dyslexic. From 8th grade to 12th grade, I was the lead drummer in high school and in grammar school. I had the music. I never read a stick. I faked it for all those years because I knew how to do it. I watched, played it. When I graduated, Mr. B, my music teacher, said, boy, for 4 years, you've been bullshitting me. I was like, yeah. But I didn't bother you because you did what you had to do. Well, because I know how to be that drummer, I know how to be Jerry because the little boy lives in me. So I'm here to tell a story about everybody has their fears. Everybody has their downcast of what they believe, who they should be, and they're not doing it. Well, I'm living proof that there was nothing worse than a little boy knowing he can't be with all the other little kids the way he would love to be. And I figured it out. So I have that fear has replaced with faith in myself. I had a lot of work, but by the grace of God, I learned how to read. I got tutored. Now, we came from Brooklyn. Brooklyn's about, you lived in the streets. When I was playing stickball in the street, my father would pull up, my mother would pull up and say, oh, guys, I got to go help my mother with the groceries. It's a lie. I ran in, I met the tutor, did my hour. All right. Came back out. Yeah, I helped my mother come out. Till today, nobody knows. My 8th grade tomatoes, all the girls that I grew up with in the neighborhood, till today, don't know that I was dyslexic or I was illiterate. The only way they're going to find out is interviews like this. I will never tell them. They find out, they find out. And if they find out, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to come and ask me. Yeah, you, what do you mean you're not? What are you talking about? You're not a read, you're not illiterate. No, I didn't. Why didn't you say nothing? Why should I? What was it going to do for me? It would only put me more into doubt and fear and this disorderly order like Jerry. I would have been more disorderly. Now they know. How do I act? I just went and I just did. So I'm here to tell the story to fight your fears and know if you want it, you will have the faith enough to do it. And because I'm here doing it, I have to do Jerry. And I'll give kudos to him. But all I have to know for myself, it's me. It's me.
I think that's a great message to send out to everyone out there, especially
Well,
children that, may have low self-esteem. They may suffer from something and they feel like, oh, what am I going to be able to do in life? Well, you're a great example. You're like a, inspiration to a lot of people out there, especially kids that, may be suffering from something.
well, let's think about today with all this autism. When we were kids, what was autism? The biggest thing was my thing. ADHD, dyslexic. Now you got everything where they act out. They're acting out the disorder. I don't remember that. We had, in our day, they were Down syndrome, what they call Down syndrome. In our day, they didn't even know how to say down. They said retarded. And we weren't saying anything bad. They were just not in the order of regular people. Think about today. I don't know. The Down syndrome have grown past, they're human beings now. They passed their autism. They're functionable. They know how to love. They know how to grab you. They know how to go to work. They know how to marry. So think about where they came from. And I believe that they are in that storytelling. I think their support system, may they be their parents or the school, gave them the support, that faith that you're okay. You're just different from the rest of us. That's all.
Yeah, that's a great message right there. Like, everybody has their own unique talent. No matter what there's nobody perfect. And everyone out there that's watching this show today, know that even if you are suffering from something, you have a talent. God gave you a talent, and, just run with it. Just like Capone did.
Nobody has an excuse. Nobody has an excuse. Somebody's got something. And if your disorder's taking you down, ask yourself, what is my strength? And make something out of your strength, because that strength will fade away in that weakness. That strength will fade that weakness away. And all you'll see is your strength. So mine was, let me do comedy, was my strength. I'm still dyslexic. I'm still, I'm a better reader. I learned how to tutor myself, but it doesn't change. I'm still dyslexic. It's just that my strength of not fearing to talk. Why? I have so much to say. So if I say it, I'm pushing down my dyslexic of not know how to talk, because that's what dyslexic is. Not knowing the words, not knowing how, not seeing the words off of paper. And here's the ironic thing. When I was in COVID and I was putting these shows together, I write. I know how to write a script. It just comes to me, and I went, how can I write if I don't know how to write? How do I write when I don't know words? The words are there because they're correct in your brain. It's how you take them out of your brain and put them on a paper. It's how do you take the word out of your mouth and say it and do it. The word is right here. So take the word that's right and learn how to say it and how to write it. So when I write, the words are spelt wrong. So I go back, I Google, and I write the right word in. Now I got the right words in the script. And what's my tutoring? I got everything right now. I put all that right in my head now, because that word is already there. So it recognizes that word. And there I am. I just corrected my dyslexic. But I didn't know I was a writer. Like, I write my own stuff. Like when I mean is creating. That's what it is. You're creating. And like Jerry created, what I did was, when Jerry did the movies, Errand Boy, when he did the Bellboy, he was somebody. So what I did was, because the nutty Julius Kelp was my main man, everybody's a Kelp. Stanley was in the Errand Boy. I made Stanley Kelp. Him and Dean did this sketch called The Valet. He came in as a guy with teeth trying to park a car. Well, I made him Melvin Kelp. Everybody's a Kelp that I do. So what I'm starting to do now is I'm creating. I made a woman called Diana Caruso. Her real name is Diana Kelp, but her stage name is Diana Caruso. And she was a 60s star back in the day when Diana Ross and the Supremes were popular. She had a band called Diana Caruso and the Screams. So I'm creating what would be today if Jerry was alive. Well, I got that little boy thinking. So I created her. And all 60s out, big hat, sunglasses, beads, and all I have to do is I take a song, I sing, or if I'm working with a Dean or a Sinatra, I sing with them like if I was Dean Martin's show and he's singing with a female star. I'm out there. And I come up with the literature. Like Diana Ross and the Supremes was with Motown. And I would say in the act, well, I'm Diana Caruso and the Screams, and I was with No Town. Little things. We made hits like, You're the Reason Why Our Kids Are So Ugly. You might remember that. Or Your teeth were stained, but your heart was pure. I come up with songs. So I put all that in a skit, all in the workings. And I see that being creative is easy. I just got to keep creating. And that's what I do. I just keep creating. I keep coming up with things that I have to do. And like Jerry did Be My Love. He did a lip sync of Be My Love that he made popular with Dean. And he continued it. So one night I was doing Be My Love and I was getting bored. I said, all right. I came home. I said, I'm lip syncing. They're into it, but I was getting bored. That's what they want to see. They want to see what Jerry did. They're coming to see Jerry, what he did. I was getting bored. So next show came along. I said, guys, I'm going to just extend this a little bit because I'm going to do Be My Love. I bring a woman. I talk about how Be My Love is so romantic. And I learned how to sing opera, and I want to sing opera to you. Now, they're a little confused because they don't know, is it Be My Love or something new? I put the woman on the chair, and I sing to her. And in that, I try to take her up, pick her up on the chair. I put her hair. I just go whatever I want to do with her. I don't give her a break at all. I have done at least 30 Be My Loves, and every woman was better than the next one. You know, when you go to a person and you go, listen, you want to be in I want to do something. No, don't ask me. You know what? Everybody wants to do something. Everybody would love to be the star of this show. Remember why they're there? To see a show. You just put them up there and they'll do exactly what you want them to do. And I extended that Be My Love. Now they're not just laughing at me. They're laughing at the woman. They just made the show bigger. And plus that woman is laughing at herself because that's what I want to do. I want people to laugh with me about yourself and about what I'm doing. Now we're in one show. We're in the show together. That's my aim. When I try to get it, I do a lot of ad-libbing because I want people to be in my show. That's what Jerry did. I don't need all the time a partner. The partners are the audience. And I'll do what I have to do. Like when I do Carmen Miranda, I come out as Carmen Miranda. I don't come off the stage. Jerry did Carmen Miranda movie. I come and bring somebody with me. I make a guy walk with me. I make him hold me. And I live as I go. I try to get everybody involved. And that's where I'm at. Trying to get everybody involved.
With that being said, where can people find you? And if there's any events that you're going to be doing in the future, if you want to talk about that briefly.
Right. You can find me on Facebook, Angelo Capone, and you'll see my Jerry face. I have Face to Face Productions. I have another page. You'll see that with Jerry's face. You could go to YouTube, Angelo Capone as Jerry Lewis. I have like 70 different videos on there of characters, and you go to Face Productions and you'll see my logo with Face to Face and people that I worked with. All the shows that I did with the Sinatras, the Dean Martins and bands and the female artists. So those YouTube is very big, and Face to Face and, Face to Face Productions at, gmail.com. And you could go to that and get in contact with me. You could go to Face to Face Productions, Face to Face Productions at gmail.com, and also Face to Face at AOL.com. And you can get in touch with me there for any hiring. And again, you'll see me on Facebook. You'll see those videos out. I try to put them everywhere. And right now my goal is to do interviews like yourself because I want to get myself out there and get people laughing again. Because that is the medicine.
Well, if you want to, we only have a few minutes left, but if you want to do a couple little acts for the audience, and then we'll end the show after that.
Well, see, the only thing it's very hard to do that because I need see, Jerry always did everything. Okay. This is with music. Without music, Jerry wouldn't have it. And see, because I'm that musician, I'm a drummer, music was everything. So I need the music. But like the character, like I would say, like, I started with this is a character that you would see. This is Diana Caruso. And what I do is I put lipstick all over here. I make her heavy and I become Diana Caruso on the screens. And this is what you'll see on the videos. And this is what you'll see at the show. And I come out with a whole outfit and this is who I am. And I'm very happy to be here. And that's what I do. And here's the other thing.
You're making me laugh, so just put that.
And here's the other thing. This is who I really am. I lost the beautiful hair that I had. I really had good Jerry hair. And, but again, you go on the videos, you'll see the actual, video of me doing the CEO, the errand boy. You'll see the typewriter, because I can't play the music, because I'm not, I didn't hook up to it. You know what I mean? I was just was going to tell my story and tell you where to go to see all this. But I appreciate everything of just the asking of people who come to me and just want me to tell my story. And I appreciate you very much.
Well, thank you. And I enjoyed listening to you and learning about you. And thank you for coming on today. And thank you,
Thank you.
everyone out there, for watching this show. And make sure you check out Angelo Capone.
Thank you. Be well.